Hey there, welcome to Mac TV. My name is Mac and I'm a leadership and team building coach, but specifically for first-time team managers. So a couple of weeks ago in one of my Q&A sessions within my new manager accelerator program, I had one of our managers ask a fantastic question, which I wanted to actually consider with you, my wider audience today, because I think it will really benefit you as well. So here's the scenario. She's brand new to management, never managed people before, and kind of wanted some insights as to what is the best way that she could support her team. Of course, I discussed this at length with the group, and I wanted to share with you what it boils down to, which is just 5 simple things that you can do to better support your team members. Okay, so let's dive into this, shall we? Okay, so number 1, help each team member on your team feel seen and feel heard. So I don't know how many of you out there are Oprah fans, but for me, I just love listening to the nuggets of like gold wisdom that she drops every once in a while. I mean, actually, who am I kidding? She drops these nuggets all the time. But one of these gold nuggets that has really resonated with me and has helped me, I think, become a far more effective leader is this concept of helping people be seen and be heard. And this is actually something that Oprah learned over the years and years of her experience of interviewing people. You see, she said that she looked back at her career and in terms of all the interviews that she did, and she noticed that there was one thing that like everybody that she interviewed would say, whether it be like the Beyoncés of the world or like the guy in prison who like murdered his daughter and was in jail. They all, right after the interview, would lean in and say to her, "Well, is that okay?" And what she derived from that is basically that each person on this planet Earth has this like desire to be seen and to be heard and to know that what they're saying is resonating with the other person listening. And so just like think about that for a second. If you as a manager are able to help your team members feel seen and heard, then wow, what a difference like you would make in your management. You would literally be one of the best managers that they have ever had, because I'm telling you, a lot of people do not do this. So whether you're in a one-on-one meeting with your team member, if you're like giving feedback, or if you're just like recognizing them for a job well done, make sure that it's always from the angle of helping that team member feel seen and feel heard. The second thing that employees want from their managers is clear expectations. Nothing is more frustrating to an employee than not really knowing what their manager wants. I mean, a great employee can always figure out the how. Actually, I would argue that most employees can figure out the how, but they can't do that if you don't first define the what. You know, one of my favorite quotes on this entire subject of expectations is actually by Ken Blanchard when he says that all good performance begins with clear goals. So here's the deal. If employees are not super clear on what is expected of them, then poor performance is only inevitable. And this is a big deal, especially for someone that cares about the outcomes that they're delivering or cares about their deliverables. So make sure as a manager that you are always being super, super clear on what you expect and that you are clearly communicating that on a consistent basis. So the third thing that employees want from their managers is actually feedback. There was a 2017 study that was done that found that 67% of employees actually want to have these performance feedback conversations with their managers, but only like 26% actually receive it. That's a big gap in between what they want and what they're actually receiving. Now, oftentimes it's because the manager is uncomfortable giving this feedback, right? They don't necessarily know how to do it in a positive way, and so they just don't do it at all. But here's the thing you have to know your employees want it and they need it if they're going to get better and if you want to have the results that you're looking for. So make it an aim to be consistent with giving performance feedback and also, of course, learn how to do it so that it is as impactful as you want it to be. The fourth thing that employees want from their managers is for their manager to remove the obstacles. And this is my absolute favorite. In fact, if you downloaded my guide, The Ultimate Guide to Being an Effective Team Leader, then you know that I talk about this in step 4, which would be on, let's see here, page 14, page 14. Here it is. Identify the obstacles to success. So I walk you through what that means. And of course, an exercise that you can do to actually identify it and then remove those obstacles. Listen, our team members need us to do this, particularly in this day and age with the climate being the way it is, where there's so many challenges getting in the way of good work. Because if you want your team members to do good work, you got to remove the impediments in the way of them doing good work. You know, my mentor always used to say that people are not paid to create problems, they're paid to solve problems. And so for you, as the manager of the team, you want to be hyper focused on solving some of the problems in the way of your team doing good work so that they can solve the overall problem, which is, you know, what we're all paid for. So this is something you definitely want to have or be doing on a consistent basis. I would definitely recommend running this type of exercise, you know, every month or every couple of months so that you're always like aware of what the obstacles are and then of course solving them. Lastly, a team just wants their manager to be transparent. I mean, nobody really trusts or respects a leader that withholds or hoards information. I mean, think about your own behavior. Do you trust someone that withholds or is not being transparent on the issues? Probably not, right? So you want to be as transparent as possible with your team members. Now, yes, I know there are certain things that you just can't share with them, right? For privacy reasons or whatnot, you can't share everything. But there are certainly a lot of things that you could share with them to provide context around why things are happening or why decisions are being made so that they don't fill the narrative on their own. You know, if you've been following me, you know that I always say if you don't give people as many of the puzzle pieces as possible, they're just going to like add in their own and just like come up with a narrative that is probably way off of what it actually is. So it's better for you to be as transparent as possible. I would say it's even more important for you to be transparent when things are changing. Like anytime there's some sort of pivot or any sort of change at all, I want to recommend that you amp up your communication and make sure that you are as transparent as possible, even if that means letting them know that you can't share all the details, but that you would like to share as much as you possibly can, right? That in itself aids to comfort and easing their worry when things are rapidly changing. All right, guys, so that's it in terms of the 5 things that employees want from their managers. I hope that you found this video to be valuable. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to click on the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any other content that I share on this platform every single Tuesday. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. As always, don't forget to keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.